Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to give you guys my official thoughts on this card with Misfits 17. Some fights I'm actually very excited for, others, not really interested in. But let's start off with, Prince Nassim's son. His name is Sami Hamed. He's going against Jesse Clark. If I keep looking to the right, it's because I have the fights on right here. So, some things to note for this fight. I'm going to try making it quick. Sami Hamed is the son of Prince Nassim, and Jesse Clark is a TikToker with 600,000 followers. So, I mean, I'm kind of questionable in terms of how much you'll actually bring into the fight in terms of social media status. But I think what they're trying to look forward in this fight is, maybe people who are fans of Prince Nassim to kind of watch this fight and see how his son does from that business aspect. But I mean, that's why those are my initial thoughts within this fight. But outside of that, though, the next two fights are in the cruiserweight division. Starting off with Minicon and DTG, both coming down from heavyweight, especially DTG. Who was actually pretty big for that weight class, especially being 5'8", and going down to 190. What his coach said, according to DTG, is that he has a lot more power at this weight class. So I'm actually interested to see, how he would do if, especially if he has more power heading into this fight. And Minicon says himself too that he feels a lot better at 190 compared to these heavyweights, where he feels like himself that he's a smaller heavyweight. So let's see what happens within that. I think need to prove something at the end of the day, and I think at the end of the day it's DTG. I feel like DTG would have more. How do I say this? He has more of a chip on his shoulder, just because I feel like he's taking a lot of time to lose this weight, and I think there's a lot of question marks with people being like, will the power be there heading into the cruiserweight? Or some may say he should be even going more down in boxing because he's still small. So interested to see how this fight goes. Another fight that's in this cruiserweight division, Jay Cornish versus Mike Edwards. Not really familiar with both of these fighters. I know Mike Edwards is like an Olympian from Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken. The winner of this will go against Le'Veon, so we'll kind of have to see how the winner of this, how he does heading into this, Le'Veon Bell fight. But after that, we have, I think the first Irish fighter, if this fight order is correct, from their home country, fighting on this card. Ben Williams, he's going to go against Warren Spencer. I'm not really familiar with Warren Spencer. I just heard that he is like allies with Tristan Tate. I think that's what Mam said. And I mean, Ben Williams, we've seen how he's fought on Misfits. He fought on Misfits 12, went against Fez Batista, won pretty dominantly, to be honest. And they said that the winner of this fight will go against Jarvis. So I'm interested to see, how they both do, and if either one or the other has, a good chance to go and try to win against Jarvis and get that 155 belt. So I think that's the biggest note within that fight. Moving on from that, though, Gabe Silva versus Weddy. I'm going to be honest, I don't know who Weddy is. Mam said he's also from Ireland as well, so another home native fighter in this card, which is good to see. And Gabe Silva, was supposed to fight ATM Misfits 13, but obviously some politics happened there. But we finally get to see him back into this ring. Just a random matchup, so I'm not really too particularly interested in this fight, to be honest. But these next three fights are interesting. We're going to start off with Danny Aarons versus Bevo. This fight could let alone be its own main event, and gotten some pay-per-view buys as well on top of that. Maybe not for however much they're setting up for this KSI fight, but I feel like there are a lot of people from the UK that would buy a Danny Aarons Bevo card, and depending on how they structure it with the fights on it, to $20, and I think it could be a $20 pay-per-view for itself. But anyways, though, this will probably be a co-main fight if I have to guess, and good. I mean, if I'm Misfits, I'm gonna try to make sure that if you're a Misfits, if you work for Misfits in any way possible, I think business-wise, the best option would be Danny Aarons to win it, just because he has a very high engaging audience that will watch him do anything. And there is a storyline with this fight between him and Bevo. They both have a little bit of beef from what I've heard. So at the end of the day, very interested to see what happens there. Going along with, another fight, I think this is the second to last fight that has been announced, with Dean the Great against Dave Fogarty. Again, not too particularly familiar with him. All I've known is that he's a photographer for big athletes such as Conor McGregor. So I think that's very interesting. And he's also from Ireland himself. So again, another native from Ireland heading into this card. I respect it. I think that's a good business decision from Mams to do. And Dean the Great, I think this is just another fight to kind of fill in for the time being whenever this tournament ends. So just to keep him active, I guess. I think the best thing, or the best advice that I feel like would be given to Dean the Great, is try to treat this fight as any other fight. You know what I mean? Take it serious. Make sure that there's no question marks for this performance of the win. You know what I mean? So I think it's pretty. So I think Dean will win it. I don't think this Dave Fogarty guy has any background in combat sports, or I think I saw something where he has MMA experience. So again, not boxing experience. I think this should be an easy fight for Dean, but we'll see what happens on the night. And lastly, I've kind of talked about this on a different video, but KSI versus Slim and 18, a 2v1 tag team match. From what I understand and what the rules are going to be so far, is that there should be one tag at minimum. So I think that's a good thing. And at max 3 tags per round. And then after that, there are going to be 3 minutes per round, which is good for this fight. But the only thing that could be bad in terms of having 3 minutes per round is how many rounds are going to be there. If you're going to have 3-minute rounds, at least have 6 rounds to go along with it. If I'm, Mams, Sauerland, or even just the fighters, try pushing it to 6 rounds, especially if you are KSI, because you don't want any question marks with this gimmicky fight. There's already question marks, people saying that, why is KSI doing this? This is a gimmick fight. And, in order to turn these little doubters into, being positive about it, having an extensive amount of rounds would benefit KSI, because he has to deal with 2 people at the end of the day. And if he, beats them in this fight, that helps KSI's stock, in my opinion. But anyways, though, I know that's not, particularly the fans' choice. They want to see Slim versus KSI, which, to be fair, I think that would have been a good fight itself, just to have both of them square it off. And I think it would be beneficial, it would even be fine for KSI to take on the fight against Slim. But anyways, though, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys want to just support me, just subscribe to my channel. I am under 100 subscribers away for 1,000, so I'm very excited for that. Hopefully, I'll do something special when I hit 1,000 subscribers, so stay tuned for that. And anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.